I'm gonna do a walkthrough of my yard slash garden slash food forest. So it's got a little bit of everything. The reason I'm starting at this door is because when I open this door, you're gonna be like, "That's the laziest man in the world. Will he never mow his lawn?" No, I'm never gonna mow this lawn. But you'll know why in a minute. And I let this yard go crazy this year. And I'm gonna show you why and explain why and how and what, and I'll post pictures of what I hauled out of here, the food I hauled out of here so far. Abundance. There's a word everyone loves. Abundance. Okay, I'll show you some abundance, but I'll also show you how to set up a food forest and a garden and then just leave it alone. And I'll explain as I go. When I open this door, you're gonna be like, "What?" Okay, but here we go. Watch. All right, now, first thing you need to know is that this Velcro screen is available online. Look at this thing. Magnet seals behind you. Come on, dogs. Dogs are gonna come out here and ruin this by barking at nothing or something, but see them, dummies. Dummies. Get out there. Go do your thing. Okay, look. See what I mean? Barking already, ding dongs. Alright, so it's an unusual yard. Look at it. I just let it all go. There are weeds in here. I don't even know what they are. Some I know what they are, and I left them like this. Pokeweed. Look at this. Pokeweed is Dr. Seussian in its greatness. It's also edible if you boil the leaves 3 times and dump the water out. You got to look up a recipe for that. And then but if you do that right, and then it'll reduce the vitamin A content, which I understand is toxic to people. You don't want to eat the berries or anything else really. But you can eat the small leaves if you boil them 3 times. Look it up. Dump the water out each time, and then you fry it with garlic and onion and bacon. Fantastic. But also, look, I can sit out here. I just wanted to be able to sit out here on my porch and have a cup of coffee and not see my neighbors. They're right there. They are right there. They are 60 feet away or something, right? So, but now I can't see them. They can come out in their bathrobe in the morning, buck naked for all I care, and I don't have to watch. There's a very old lady who lives there, by the way, so might have a different opinion on different clientele, but anyways. So look, here's a hummingbird feeder. I've posted a few videos of these hummingbirds. They'll be here in a minute. Sun's coming up, so I better get cracking on this tour. So let's just do it. Now I'll explain as I go. Here's a little herb garden in a bucket, right? Basil, oregano, a couple of oreganos, tarragon. It's getting late in the season, right? So it's not looking so great. These are dandelions. I planted these in wild lettuce for the fish to eat. Of a tilapia farm over here. You can't see it because I let the grapes cover the edge of it, so I don't have to see it. It's an IBC tote, 2,000 gallons on one side of this carport, another 1,000 gallons on another side, on the other side by the house over there. But anyway, so these are for the tilapia. They love them. Bitter greens, they love them. So why not grow what works, right? Got some kale and stuff in here. It's not doing so great because it's so hot this year. This is the south. This is Georgia. So it might kick up a little bit when it cools down and probably get some decent kale then. These are jackfruit trees, which I just bought a jackfruit. Stuck the seeds in the dirt. I got 3 of them there, a couple indoors. That's a gardenia, I think my wife came up with somewhere. Let's walk around here a second. Now look. This is very long, tall grass, okay? But I don't mind. This little okra I started. God knows what that is. Heirloom tomato. I got to up-pot that. Now, I put in a glass windscreen so I could have a hot tub in here. And the only things that actually survive behind this glass in this intense heat are yard-long beans. You can see them. They're yard-long, all right. And okra, which really doesn't mind the heat. Has a beautiful flower coming out today. I'm letting it go to seed because it grows really well here. The little ones, you just eat those bad boys. Ah, ant. You're gonna eat the little ones right off the shrub. Oh, here. I'm gonna give you guys some tips as I go. Here's a good tip. Pee in a cup before you go into your yard in Georgia. If you're gonna work in a yard like this, have a cup of your own urine handy in case you get bit up by ants. I'm sorry, I'm chewing okra, but delicious when it's small, by the way. These I'm gonna let them full pot out and then harvest seeds and then plant a whole row in here for a privacy screen sort of thing behind this glass. It's about the only thing that'll live through the heat. On the other side of the glass, look. Malabar spinach, baby. Delicious. That's a John Kohler recommendation, growing your greens. This is, I believe, Egyptian spinach, although I planted walking stick kale and other stuff in here. Stinging nettles are in here. Some stuff made it, some didn't germinate yet, probably, right? It'll pop up when it's cool enough for it. But whatever that is, someone might want to tell me because I kind of lost track. I threw so many seeds in here, but here's why I'm not mowing my lawn, by the way. Watermelons. Watermelons everywhere, right? Look at all these flowers. Watermelons are shooting out all over it. So they'll shade this lawn anyway shortly. But the thing is, once they make a watermelon, once that pollinates and it has a watermelon, you know, you can prune the end of the vine past the watermelon just so it's attached to the root side, and it's better for the plant, and then I can prune that. When that happens, I'll prune that back. And then maybe take a weed whapper, string trimmer or something to this yard a little bit. But there's some more pokeweed, which I leave for the birds. I mean, I used to buy bird seed for a bird feeder. Now I just leave nature. Let it feed the birds, right? Quinoa, wild amaranth. These are all seeds I got at the farmer's market by the quart. Used some for meals and then chucked them out here. And there they are, growing like crazy. That's just starting to pop because it's finally cool enough for it probably to do what it really wants to do. It's been incredibly hot in Georgia this year. These are all watermelons. This is a raised bed I built out of reclaimed, well, I mean, I took a barbecue apart next door with some help and put the bricks over here. An old, very old barbecue outside oven. There's some daisies I put in there. This is called burnweed or fireweed. Look at this beautiful plant. It follows tore up earth after a forest fire or something. It likes busted up ground. This ground here, by the way, when I moved in, there were, see this giant tree? 80-year-old at least pine tree. There were 3 more in this yard right here, and they were getting into the neighbor's foundation, the roots, and tore up her driveway. So they removed them, and this was flat as a pancake, Georgia clay, and the sun came out and baked it to a terracotta finish. Nothing was going to grow here. There was no soil whatsoever, basically. So I had to make soil for a year. This is year 2. This is year 2. Look at this. My wife's like, what in the? I'm like, yeah, I got it going on. Just stop bugging me about mowing and whatnot. This is a hydrangea. I got to put a dwarf fruit tree where this barrel is so this thing has proper shade so it can survive in Georgia. But these barrels, I haven't weeded them either. I'm using this grass to shield the black plastic barrel from the heat a little bit. I'll cut it back at some point. Ganera procumbens, right? Longevity spinach, basil. This isn't looking too good because I threw a bunch of coffee grounds and stuff in there. Might have overdosed it with the nitrogen. It'll be all right. Again, Malabar, see this? Malabar spinach shooting up through. another Guinera procumbens, which is, this is either longevity spinach or cholesterol spinach. In the delicious, same family, right? This is Okinawan spinach. These are all John Kohler recommendations, growing your greens so they would grow great in the heat, and they do. Look at that. Spinach got burnt to a crisp around here, but this kind of spinach from overseas where it's more tropical is loving it. Oh, it tastes great. Now the Okinawan spinach I found has a fishy taste to it. Tastes like fish sauce, really. Very strange. But if you're into that, good for you. And if you cook it with other stuff, you don't notice that as much. Got a little bug damage, but not much. That's it. That's the beauty of these plants the bugs around here aren't familiar with. They don't eat them. So, you don't have to do a lot of spraying. These are these burn weeds again, fire weeds. Look at these things. Now, I transplanted these. One of them popped, a couple of them popped last year out in this lot. And I collected seeds and I put them here. Again, so I can sit there and have a cup of coffee and have a privacy hedge without putting in a hedge. They'll always be there. This will come up and change every year, and I'll put different plants in. This is, I believe, Listeria. I forget. You're going to have to, I don't know. This is a killer orange pepper. Look at that thing. That's an heirloom orange pepper. That's called orange crush. Orange blaze is what's that called? Is what it's called. This is oregano. Look at that. It's right in the grass. Also dandelion. Look at that thing. Fish will eat it. I'll eat it. I love dandelions. They're fantastic for you. And that is chickweed, I believe, which is also edible. These are pigweeds or some wild weeds. This is a purple corn. There's some more over here. There's another giant. There's another stand of purple corn from Peru over there. Look at this. This is a mosquito on me. Right, giant corn next to a moringa tree. That's about 4 feet tall, that one, moringa tree. I'll get back around to it. This is a garden box I built, again, from free bricks I got at a construction site. And I filled this box with soil, and it produced tremendous amount of watermelons this year already. And it's trying again, right? So it's trying more squashes or melons are coming up. I haven't micromanaged, you can tell, right? I haven't micromanaged any of this. But there is a pomegranate tree stuck in there. There's some more pokeweed. Look, this pokeweed is providing shade. This is why I leave this, right? Those are pine berries. They're white pineapple flavored strawberries, right? They're called pine berries or hula berries sometimes. Without this providing shade, this would have been burnt to a crisp. They wouldn't even be alive right now. This year was so hot, so early. There's another moringa coming up from seed. There are moringa seeds everywhere. There's another one. I plucked moringa seeds in everywhere. There's some more of that burnweed, fireweed. It's just, look at this. This is such a beautiful plant. People have been conditioned in America to think of this as the enemy, right? As this would be the enemy to most people. They'd spray poison all over it. Just ridiculous. And look, right at the base, there it is. There's the watermelon. Now, if I was to cut that before those flowers and leave that attached, it would be healthier for the plant and start pumping that watermelon up. And I'll do it. At some point, I will do it.